Bought this Briggs and Stratton WMB. It doesn't have any kind of a tag on it, no nameplate. Looks like the cover on the side there was homemade, so the original one is not there anymore. Looks like at one time it had a kickstart on it. That's been replaced with a pulley with a rope starter. The carburetor, little pieces broken off there that held a rod so that you could control the choke. So not quite sure how to tell what the date is on it. It does have a cast iron head, but it doesn't have the brass identification plate either. So it's running, smokes a little. I'll pull the cover off of it and see what the governor looks like. Well, it has the triangular shaped governor instead of the little rectangular one, so that means it's one of the later models. Still not sure if I can pin down the date range on it. I did a little checking on the smokestack and found out that there is a way to tell what year some of the components were made. The back of the mag cover has a little circle in it with a number. Actually two of them. Right down here, too small to see probably, it's a circle with a 4-5 in it, so that's 1945. There's also be a date on the back of the flywheel. So anyway, that's a way to check and see what you got, what year you got, if you don't have a nameplate on it, number plate on it anywhere. I took the blower housing off, and now I'm going to disassemble the engine to clean it up. I'm going to take the flywheel off. What I've done is used a block of wood to keep the flywheel from turning. These Briggs and Stratton engines, the nut that holds the flywheel on is reverse threaded, so you have to turn it the opposite way. To get the flywheel loose, you have to hit the end of the crankshaft with a plastic, or what, I've got an old wooden mallet here. Gonna see if I can break that loose. There, I got it. Now I can get into where the points and condenser are. Also get rid of this yellow color on this flywheel. Since this motor didn't have a identification plate on it, there's a way to tell what the date is for some of the parts. On the back of the flywheel you see these three little circles, and one has a 4-5 in it, that's 1945. The other one has a 5 in it, that's the month of May. So the flywheel anyway was made in May 1945, and there should be similar numbers on the back of the magneto plate here. do this and hold the camera. That's a whole lot easier when you're not trying to hold the camera, but just trying to illustrate one method of getting that paint off. Of course, you got a media blaster or sand blaster, that would certainly be a lot more less labor intensive. Just about finished this WMB 1945. The transformed it from that yellow state highway looking color to back to more of its factory colors. I did mess up one little place here. Up here on the shroud I spilled paint thinner, so I'm gonna have to let that paint cure up and sand that back out and get that little defect out of there. Then get some decals and put on it, and looks a heck of a lot better than that old yellow bomb. Got the WMB finished, put the decals on it. So I'm gonna crank it up, let it run a little bit.